Good morning. There's 9 games tonight. Nine games tonight. It's going to be fun. West Coast, we got one, two, technically three. I say technically because Edmonton, you guys know you're not on a coast. Yeah, it's gonna be nicely spread out too for those of us that try to watch as much as we can. And yeah, this is gonna be one of those nights where at the end I'm gonna be like, I don't know how to update my power rankings, but it's okay because people won't complain until Saturday. Um, so first up, Boston. They're 4-2 after that loss last night, and now they move on to Edmonton, who are 2-2, and scare the bejeepers out of me. Why? Because Edmonton is coming off of a comeback win. In that game, Edmonton, I think, got themselves a lot of momentum, and we'll see whether or not it carries over. Bergeron leads the way in the scoring for the Boston Bruins with 6 goals and 7 assists. Marchand, 2 goals and 9 assists. Pasternak, 7 goals and 3 assists. McAvoy, 1 goal and 4 assists. Krejci, 5 assists. Chara, 1 goal and 1 assist. Bjork, 1 goal and 1 assist. DeBrusk, 2 goals. So there's a very large heaping of offense coming from that first line, and not a whole lot coming from elsewhere. And at some point, that's going to be a problem for Boston. And it feels sort of like talking about Dallas when I talk about this. But we're still early in the year, and we'll see if some other guys pick it up. But if it's just the first line scoring, that's going to be a problem. On the Edmonton McDavid side of things, Connor McDavid has 9 points on their 10 goals. 4 goals and 5 assists for him. Nugent Hopkins, 1 goal and 5 assists. He comes into tonight with points on the last 3 goals for Edmonton. So watch him and see if he's going to challenge McDavid's record. He won't, but it'll be fun if he gets in on the first goal tonight and makes it 4 or something like that. Draisaitl, a goal and 4 assists. Nurse, a goal and 2 assists. Lucic, a goal and an assist, same as Ratty. I don't need to tell Edmonton fans that their team is struggling with scoring beyond any line that has McDavid on it. It's the thing that probably sunk them last year, and maybe we're there again. It's the reason why Draisaitl, who had been on the wing with the Oilers, with McDavid, is the reason that he was dropped down to number 2 center. And when you see Draisaitl get an assist on a McDavid goal or vice versa, it's bittersweet because it means, yep, Draisaitl's on the board, but he needed to be with McDavid to do it. So, on special teams, Boston's number 6 on the power play, number 19 on the penalty kill. The Oilers are number 4 on the power play, number 30 on the penalty kill. Remember, though, these numbers on the road. Now they get to play at home, and we'll see how they turn out at home. Because at home last year, they were the worst team on the power play. So it'll be interesting to see if that power play can stay good. Boston has a great power play. Lousy penalty kill so far for Edmonton. We'll see how that adds up. Halak's been confirmed. So if you see an asterisk next to a goalie's name, it means they've been confirmed as starting. Chicago hasn't confirmed a goalie yet. Just throwing that out there. So Halak, 1.18 goals against, 961 save percentage. Tuukka Rask, 4.08 goals against, and an 875 save percentage. On the Edmonton side of things, Cam Talbot, 3.01 goals against, and an 895 save percentage. So on the good side of things, the Oilers are 2-2, and Talbot hasn't really been Talbot yet. I think Cam Talbot is capable of being a very, very solid number 1 goaltender in the NHL, and I just think we haven't seen that from him as much as we thought we would over the last year and a few games, I guess. Because in 2016-2017, he was excellent. 2017-2018, I think he was overplayed, and now he may be overplayed again. This might be a good spot to play somebody else in net, but they'll probably play Talbot. That just hasn't been released yet. Vancouver. Well, Canuck fans, we're 5-2 or 4-2, and we're trying to get to 5-2. Winnipeg 3-2-1 should be 4-2, but they let Edmonton off the hook. Scoring wise, Peterson's still the number 1 scorer with 5 goals and 3 assists. Yes, he's told us his name is Elias Peterson. I'm it's weird. They're all spelled the same, and yet everybody pronounces their name different. It's just weird. Some point, I'm just gonna start randomly changing how I pronounce my name, just for fun. Sven Berchi, 2 goals and 3 assists. Edler, 5 assists for him. Horvat, 3 goals and an assist. Besser, 2 goals and 2 assists. And Besser starting to play better. Sutter, 2 goals and an assist. Granlund, a goal and 2 assists. And Chris Tanev with 3 assists. On the Jets side of things, Connor, 4 goals and an assist. Morrissey, 5 assists. Scheifele, 2 goals and 2 assists. Wheeler, a goal and 3 assists. Laine, 2 goals and 2 assists. Brandon Tanev, a goal and 3 assists. And Adam Lowry with 3 goals. Special teams. Vancouver's power play is at 13th. Their penalty kills number 6. That penalty kill should continue being good. I don't know how great it's going to be without Beagle, but it should continue to be good because they do have Roussel, and I'm telling you, I liked Roussel in Dallas, and I really think Vancouver fans by the end of this year will really warm to Roussel in the lineup. Jets power plays at number 12. Their penalty kills at number 4. So both teams come in with middling power plays overall and pretty solid penalty kills. In net, no confirmation yet. It will probably be Markstrom. This feels like a place where Markstrom's going to play. Nelson's got a 1.67 goals against, 943 save percentage. Markstrom, 4.02 goals against and an 883 save percentage. Winnipeg side of things, Connor Hellebuck, 2.99 goals against, 906 save percentage. And Laurent Brossoit, 1.00 goals against, 977 save percentage. So it'll be interesting to see which way the Jets go. Do you stay with Hellebuck after the way that the meltdown took place against Edmonton, or do you go with Brossoit and give Hellebuck the night off? And the only one that can answer that question is Paul Maurice. And if I ask him, he's probably not going to give me a nice answer. So, yeah, the Jets should win this. This is not a game that the Canucks should be in necessarily. This should be like a 4-1 win for Winnipeg because the big superstar rookie Peterson's out. Vancouver's lineup without him is not really one that should threaten a contending team like Winnipeg. But it's funny because Maurice says we've tried to learn the lessons from the Ottawa Senators and the Edmonton Oilers, and yet there are some similarities between the start I've seen with Winnipeg and with what we saw out of Edmonton last year, where some players who had just extraordinary seasons have kind of fallen back. So it's behooving upon them to get that all straightened out as soon as possible. Okay, next up, Buffalo, 3-3. They're in against San Jose, who are 2-3-1, coming off of a road trip. Eichel is the leading scorer for Buffalo with 3 goals and 2 assists. Sherry, 3 goals and an assist. Okposo, Reinhart, and Ristolainen all have 3 assists. Skinner with a goal and an assist. Those were both in the same game, so he's had 5 games of no points. Dahlin, a goal and an assist, and Rodriguez with 2 assists. Buffalo's an interesting team. Because it's funny because when they got Skinner, I was like, wow, that's a steal. And yet I knew there were still holes in this lineup. So them being 500 and some guys putting up iffy totals isn't a whole huge surprise for me. Going into San Jose, though, San Jose has some problems of their own. Kane is their leading scorer with 4 goals and an assist, meaning that both teams, neither has a player with more than a point a game. LeBanc, a goal and 4 assists. Meyer, 3 goals and an assist. Burns with 4 assists. Pavelski has 3 goals. Hurdle has 2 goals and an assist. Donskoy has a goal and 2 assists. And Erik Karlsson has 3 assists in 6 games. And he'll tell you that's not good enough. He will be the first one to admit it. And really, when you look at San Jose's struggles, what starts to hit us is we see how Tierney and DeMello have been for Ottawa. Maybe San Jose misses Chris Tierney. Maybe they miss Chris Tierney more than we ever thought they might. And on the Buffalo side of things, this is a good chance to get things on track. However, their power plays at number 21 and the penalty kills at 19. So special teams are an issue here. San Jose's side, their power plays at 27th, which is unforgivable when you can put Burns on the point and you can put Karlsson on the point. You can put them out there together. You can put them out there in separate power play units. It really doesn't matter. You've got 2 of the most lethal shots, and neither of them has a goal. I know we're 6 games into the season. I know they're defensemen, but if we had been told a month ago, San Jose's really going to struggle and neither of them are going to score in the first 6 games, we would have thought, really? That's a surprise. Not like, holy, you're kidding, you're a liar, get out of my house, but it is kind of surprising. And that power play is shocking. The penalty kill at 16th, I don't see anything on their lineup that I say, oh, it should be a fantastic penalty kill. But still, San Jose's really got to get it together, and they've got a Buffalo team coming in that's coming off of a humbling loss that they just had. Ullmark, 0.00 goals against, 1.00 save percentage, of course, 1,000 save percentage. I would think he'll start tonight, but again, I don't want to start speculating when they haven't confirmed anything yet, because then people come back in later, they go, you're wrong, this guy's playing. I was just speculating. Hutton, 3.10 goals against, 909 save percentage. Do not overplay Carter Hutton. Don't. Good goaltender, but if you overplay him, his numbers will fall apart. On the San Jose side of things, Jones, whose numbers fell apart early on here, 3.05 goals against, 880 save percentage. And Arundel, 2.50 goals against, 917 save percentage. And San Jose will tell you they haven't been good enough. But I think the difference between Buffalo the last few years and this year is that this year being 500 isn't good enough for them either. So there you go. Pittsburgh. The Penguins 2-1-2. They're in against Toronto. Toronto is of course 6-1. You will be told that they're 6-1, and the media is driving everybody insane. It's part of the reason why, to be completely honest, I haven't been watching sports shows very much the last week or so. I realized that they just want to talk about certain players and certain teams, and it's not just Toronto, but a lot of it's Toronto. And it's like, it's overexposure. And I understand why they do it, but it's overexposure, and it ignores a lot of other storylines going on in the NHL. On the Pittsburgh side of things, Malkin with a goal and 8 assists. He's had an excellent start, which is kind of hidden in the fact that Pittsburgh's only won 2 of their first 5. Kessel, 4 goals and 4 assists. Letang, 3 goals and 3 assists. Gensel, 4 goals. Crosby and Schultz both have 4 assists, and of course Schultz is going to be out for a while. Sprong, 3 assists, and Hagelin has a goal and an assist. On the Toronto side of things, Matthews, 10 goals and 6 assists. Riley, 3 goals and 10 assists on his amazing journey of his own. Everybody talks about Matthews so much that it's easy to kind of forget what Riley's been doing. Marner with 4 goals and 7 assists. Tavares, 6 goals and 5 assists. Kapanen, 4 goals and 4 assists. He's got Leaf fans saying William who. Gardner, 5 assists. He's right behind Marleau, who has a goal and 4 assists. And Zach Hyman with 5 assists. And I keep waiting for Zach to throw one in the net, because Zach's been playing well. And Jake Gardner, for all of the negativity that people throw on him for the performance in Game 7 against the Bruins, he's had a good start to the season. Power play, Pittsburgh's number 14. That is not a Pittsburgh-like number. Their penalty kill, though, is number 4. So that's excellent. Just their power play should be one of these lethal ones, sort of like Toronto. Toronto's number 1 on the power play and number 8 on the penalty kill. They'll hurt you 4-on-4, but they'll kill you on special teams. Or not 4-on-4, 5-on-5. Although 4-on-4, they'd be pretty deadly too, since 3-on-3 they've shown they're pretty deadly. Toronto, of course, 5-on-5, not putting up the kinds of numbers that you might expect of a 6-1 team that we're all talking about what a machine they are. It is the power play that's killing everybody. With a solid penalty kill in Pittsburgh and an amazing power play in Toronto, that's the immovable force, the irresistible force, immovable object. Anyways. Other story. Whole other story. Just abandon it. Abandon ship, Shannon. It'll be interesting to see what gives. Does the great power play win, or does the great power penalty kill win? Casey DeSmith, 2.58 goals against, 922 save percentage. Murray's likely to get the start. Murray has a 5.45 goals against and an 831 save percentage. Anderson, 3.02 goals against and an 899 save percentage for the Leafs. And Sparks, thanks to that excellent game he had the other night, now his goals against is 3.5 and his save percentage is 892. So much more respectable than where it was, and good sign that he's getting acclimated to the NHL game pretty quick, and the Leafs have found themselves a reliable backup. But it's still only 2 games in, so still too early to say for sure, isn't it? Next up. Oh, yes. Colorado. So the Avs 3-1-2. They had an excellent start to their road trip, and then they had some rough patches. They still come out of it with only one regulation loss so far in 6 games. Still on the road, and they're in New Jersey. New Jersey's been lethal. Rantanen leads the way in scoring for Colorado with a goal and 8 assists. McKinnon with 7 goals and an assist. Soderberg with 3 goals and 2 assists. Landeskog 2 goals and 3 assists. Kerfoot a goal and 4 assists. The currently injured JT Compher 3 goals and an assist. Barry and Eric Johnson with 4 assists each. On the New Jersey side of things, Kyle Palmieri doing everything himself. 7 goals, 4 of those are on the power play. Followed by Hall and Severson, who both have 4 assists. D has been quite the revelation, hasn't he? They get him on waivers from these guys, and all he's done is put up 3 goals. Zajac, 2 goals and an assist. Vatanen, Butcher, and Mueller, all with 3 assists. And Nico Hischier hasn't really got going yet, and New Jersey's undefeated. Yeah, it could get even better for New Jersey, technically. On the special team side of things, Colorado number 9 on the power play, number 2 on the penalty kill. That's excellent. New Jersey number 16 on the power play, number 3 on the penalty kill. So both teams, their penalty kill has been excellent. Grubauer is the starter tonight for Colorado. He has a 4.07 goals against, 822 save percentage. Very limited number of games played. I believe he's only played the 1. So now this will be his second. Varlamov is backing him up with a 1.77 goals against, 948 save percentage. Playing some excellent hockey. So when we're talking about John Gibson and how he is already looking like he's in the running for the Vezina, Varlamov isn't close behind, or is close behind. Kincaid has played every game for New Jersey. There's a reason. He has a 1.00 goals against and a 961 save percentage. So tonight, if he plays, that'll be his 5th game in a row too. And if he can put up those kinds of numbers again, we can start talking about how, yeah, he's probably in the conversation as well if we're going to have that conversation now. New Jersey has been just as lethal as the record looks. And Colorado is going to need to probably, I would say, the first 10 minutes. I would think New Jersey will come out with the big energetic attack that you'll see a team get at home. And New Jersey seems to have a ton of energy right now. So if they can come through that first 10 minutes and it's still scoreless, or if it's 1-1 or they can get a lead somehow, they might be able to weather it. But this is going to be an interesting test for a Colorado team that really needs to show they can win on the road. And coming from a Dallas fan, I got to say it's really, really frustrating when you get a team that plays so well at home and then they go out on the road and they just blow it. So we'll see what Colorado does. Alrighty then. Philly's 3-3. Columbus is 3-2. It's a battle of the teams that don't want to be the one that's sliding in the Metro. With the emergence of Carolina, who still look pretty good even though they've lost their last couple. Either Philly or Columbus could end up being a team that's on the outside looking in. Now, before the season started, I predicted Columbus, but we'll see. Because really it was a toss-up as to who I thought might miss the playoffs. Although I also said Florida was going to make the playoffs. So, so far, no. Voracek leads the way in scoring for the Flyers with 2 goals and 6 assists. Unless goals are more important to you, in which case Giroux leads the way with 3 goals and 5 assists. Both of them 8 points. Wayne Simmons, 5 goals and an assist. Radko Gudas with 5 assists. Lawton with 3 goals and an assist. Ghost has a goal and 3 assists. And Haig, 2 goals and 2 assists for Haig. He's still on the board. On the Columbus side of things, Panarin leads the way despite all the trade rumors. Despite all the talk about his contract. Panarin's just going out and playing hockey. 3 goals and 4 assists for him. Foligno, 2 goals and 2 assists. Atkinson, 2 goals and 2 assists. Anderson with 3 goals. Dubois and Duclair both have a goal and 2 assists. Nudavara and Wenberg both have 3 assists to their name. On special teams, Philly's number 15 on the power play, number 25 on the penalty kill. Columbus number 19 on the power play. And while 19 doesn't look great, it's a heck of a lot better than last year. And number 28 on the penalty kill. So both teams sporting penalty kills in the bottom third of the league. And both of them looking at some scary goaltending numbers compared to what was expected. On the Philly side of things, Pickard, 868 save percentage of the 3.80 goals against. Elliott, who's likely to start tonight, 4.04 goals against and an 874 save percentage. And I know Philly fans have been saying the whole way, like, Elliott's been fine, it's not Elliott. Right, okay. I'm just saying Philly's got kind of a lot of goaltenders to their name. I did a whole video series on it, and it definitely looks like we could be seeing more goaltenders come through. And I know Carter Hart's going to fix everything. Bobrovsky's been confirmed for Buffalo. He's got 4.38 goals against and an 860 save percentage. Korpisalo's there as the backup, 2.95 goals against, 902 save percentage. Yeah, this kind of looks like a mess. This makes it look like this game's probably going to be like 6-4 or 7-5. It's going to be a game that will drive coaches insane. And when you see goaltenders putting up those numbers and special teams like that, it has to make coaches nervous because that can spiral quickly. Now, Philly's at 500 and Columbus is one game over 500, so we're not in the dire straits with them yet. But these numbers here are problematic. So whoever comes out of tonight with a win is going to feel fortunate, and whoever comes out of tonight with a loss is officially going to be saying, we might be concerned. Even if, if that's Columbus and they're 3-3, there's going to be some concern. There should be anyways when you're looking at some of the underlying numbers with Columbus, but as long as teams are winning, you can kind of gloss over a lot of it. It's frustrating when you see that when you know your team isn't playing very well, but at least they're winning. And then eventually, that'll turn where now they're not winning the games that they weren't supposed to be winning early in the year, and now they're just not winning at all. So, all right, let us move on to the next game, which is Detroit and Tampa. Could it get any more opposite than this? Which is why, you know what? Detroit, I'm doing that for you guys. I know. Detroit is 0-4-2. For anybody who's new, for anybody who doesn't know, this is Admiral Akbar. It's a trap, which I kept saying last year. It was just silly because I would see matchups between teams with horrible records and teams with great records and say this is a trap game, and very often that's what it was. That the team with the bad record, which is Detroit at 0-4-2, goes in against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are 3-1, coming off of an 8-2 drubbing of these guys, which has killed these numbers. And I'd say, you know what, this could go the other way. And then sometimes it did. Larkin leads the way in scoring for Detroit with 3 goals and 2 assists. Bertuzzi, 2 goals and 3 assists. Tyler Bertuzzi's off to an excellent start this year. Nyquist, 5 assists. Jensen, 2 goals and an assist. Athanasiou has 2 goals and an assist. Hronik, Cholowski, and Mantha all have a goal and 2 assists. That is a young lineup. It is a hungry lineup, and it's a lineup that's probably been torn into a little bit. It at least should be. When your team hasn't won anything in 6, I picture every coach turning into like vintage era John Tortorella, like just yelling and losing it, or like a Gulletson throwing a stick into the crowd. Didn't keep Gulletson's job, but or not into the crowd, into the stands. There was nobody in the stands. I admire the gumption in that. On the Tampa Bay side of things, Johnson, 3 goals and 2 assists, coming off of his hat trick, of course. That's where he got all 3 of his goals in one game. Point, 3 goals and an assist. Gourde, 2 goals and 2 assists. JT Miller with a goal and 3 assists. Kucherov with a goal and 2 assists. Girardi, Palat, and Sergachev all have 2 assists. So what's telling, no Stamkos on this list. Steven Stamkos has been off to a very slow start. And Tampa's still 3-1. So that's the good news. While I do think that this looks like a game that Detroit could shock the world. And I'll say why. Their power play's number 8 and their penalty kill's number 13. So as long as they can control the game 5-on-5 on some level, they can hold it even. And if they can win the special teams battle, we'll see. And yet, the number 6 power play, Tampa's. The number 1 penalty kill is Tampa's. Tampa hasn't allowed a power play goal yet in 4 games. This is their 5th. We'll see if that penalty kill record stands. In goal, Jimmy Howard, 4.00 goals against, 883 save percentage. Jonathan Bernier, 5.06 goals against, average 833 save percentage. Tampa's side of things, Louis Domingue, 2.50 goals against, 950 save percentage. And Vasilevsky's got a 1.64 goals against and a 950 save percentage. This right here is why it is hard for me to justify this, but I will leave it right there because eventually it's going to be right. Eventually, Akbar is going to be right that it was a trap, and Detroit. How bad can Detroit get? I know there's Detroit fans saying, you know what, we want to go historically bad. I admire that. I have felt that way with the Canucks before, and you can really jump on board and go, you know what, let's just lose everything. Let's just lose everything. And we'll see how far that goes. But they have to get a win at some point. And since this is the least likely spot for them to get it, sure, why not? Next up, Arizona. They're 1-4 and anemic. And you know what's funny is I did my previews on the entertainment guy for the NFL week this week, and it struck me, between the Arizona Cardinals and the Arizona Coyotes, they don't have a team that can score. You really don't. And they're in against Chicago, who's 3-0-2, and apparently it's a big night for Chicago. I don't know. The only goal scorers this year are Richardson, Strome, and Perlini. And there's 6 different guys with an assist. Nobody's got 2 points. There is no scoring leader in Arizona, just scoring losers and just guys that should be scoring more. Other than Brad Richardson. Richardson, 1 point in 5 games is good for him because he's a defensive forward anyways. On the Chicago side of things, everybody scores. 5 goals and 4 assists for Taves, 6 goals and 3 assists for DeBrincat, 5 goals and 3 assists for Kane, and then it falls off quickly after that. So Chicago's kind of top-heavy in their scoring too. Yoki Haru now with 5 assists, Cahoon with a goal and 3 assists, Schmaltz with 4 assists, Keith with 4 assists, and Gustafsson with 3 assists. The power play is 24th for Arizona. I know what you're thinking. Why isn't it 31st? Their penalty kill is number 5, and the reason why their power play isn't the worst, they haven't had as many opportunities. For a team that's only scored 3 goals and scored 1 on the power play in 5 games, it is surprising that they're not last on the power play. And their power play actually statistically is higher than Chicago's, which is 25th overall. And their penalty kill is 28th. So maybe Arizona can break through. In net. No confirmation yet. And this is true. I've gone through it. It won't be confirmed until after Chicago's morning skate. In the Arizona net, Darcy Kemper, 2.03 goals against, 929 save percentage. Antti Ranta, 2.21 goals against, 903 save percentage. On the Chicago side of things, Ward's played every minute. 4.06 goals against, 879 save percentage. He will be very happy not to play tonight in the event that Corey Crawford makes his debut. And of course, there's talk about the fact that Brandon Saad isn't playing. He's a healthy scratch. You know what? Brandon Saad's been completely invisible, so it really doesn't matter. And if they're trying to trade Saad, I'm sorry, I don't see anybody touching him. Not right now. Saad is basically, he is the latest contract that's hanging around the Blackhawks, and I'm not sure. Again, I know why they traded Panarin, but did they really have to trade Panarin to get Saad back? It's not a trade that I liked at the time, and the more time goes by, you can look at Panarin now and say, well, yeah, but look at his contract situation with Columbus, and, if he was in Chicago, he might have signed long-term in Chicago. Maybe he didn't want to leave Chicago. Maybe that's part of the reason why he's playing hardball with Columbus. He's like, I don't really want to be in Columbus. I'd rather be in Chicago. I'm just throwing that out there as an example, because Chicago doesn't really have the cap space to pursue him. But yeah, so Chicago's got some issues, and again, if you can control their top 3 scorers, so if Arizona can play well defensively tonight, and defensively Arizona's been fine. They're allowing the fewest shots per game of anybody in the NHL. Their goaltending has been okay, because Ronta's 903 isn't going to win a Vezina trophy. But the 2.21 goals against, everything's going fine defensively. Arizona needs to find a way to score. Corey Crawford comes back. If it's his first game since December 23rd, right now it's October 18th. This might be an opportunity for Arizona to put some goals on the board. Eventually, they're going to put some goals on the board. And Chicago with Crawford, you never know. But again, if they can shut down that top 3, they've got their chance. Chicago, every game has gone to overtime. Arizona's going to want to make sure that doesn't happen. And I'm not putting up a trap sticker because I don't feel that it's necessary in this spot. But this is going to be a very interesting game, and I'll definitely check it out. And last but not least, the thing de resistance. That's from Homer Simpson. The Islanders in against LA. The Islanders are 2-3. LA's 2-3-1. Not a great start for the Kings. An expected start for the Islanders, but a disappointing nonetheless. Matthew Barzal, a goal and 4 assists. Bailey's got a goal and 3 assists. Filppula, Cizikas, and Lee all have 2 goals and an assist. Mayfield, a goal and 2 assists. Nelson with a goal and an assist. And Eberle with 1 goal in 5 games. I get asked about, what do you think about Eberle? I think Eberle's going to struggle without Tavares. As much as Eberle was his great story last year, yeah, but if he doesn't have the line mates, his scoring's going to drop off. So the Strome for Eberle trade, as horrible as it looked last year, right now, neither of them are lighting up the score sheet. So I guess the winner is whoever you decide is the winner. But Eberle doesn't have a ton of market value with 1.5 games either. It's definitely a dicey situation. Whereas, with New Jersey with Taylor Hall, Hall's got 4 points in 4 games. He still looks solid, but Eberle can turn invisible pretty darn quick. On the LA side of things, Iafallo still leading them in scoring, which is a good thing for Iafallo. It's bad for LA because he's not even scoring a point a game. 2 goals and 3 assists. Kovalchuk with 2 goals and 2 assists. That's right about where I figured he'd be. So he's on pace for about 50 points. 4 points in 6 games so far. Toffoli, a goal and 3 assists. Carter, a goal and 2 assists. Muzzin with 3 assists. And the guy they really need to get going is Anze Kopitar. He's got 2 goals to his name. Kopitar's got to get things going. Might as well be tonight against the New York Islanders. Special teams. The Islanders are number 17 on the power play. The number 7 on the penalty kill. Against LA, the only team in the league that hasn't scored a power play goal yet. They're 31st in the power play department. And they're number 26 on the penalty kill. So LA's special teams are nothing to write home about, and that's a big part of the problem. And the funny thing is, of course, LA is known for being this great defensive team and having a great penalty kill, and this year, nope. The goaltending has been decent for the Islanders. Greiss, 2.70 goals against, 914 save percentage, and Robin Lehner, who is going to start tonight, 2.02 goals against, and a 937 save percentage. And they're against LA. Budaj, 2.00 goals against, 909 save percentage. Quick, 2.86 goals against, 909 save percentage. And Campbell. The cracks are starting to show with Campbell. 2.69 goals against, 922 save percentage. That's down from around 940 where he was a couple games ago. He's not a guy that you want to be playing every night. So with this being the Islanders, I wouldn't be surprised to see Budaj get in that tonight. I would not be surprised to see him get the start. But again, at the time I'm recording this, most of these starters haven't been confirmed, even with Chicago. So there you go. Let me know which games you're going to be watching tonight, which games you're most excited about, which teams you're most excited about. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video, and we made it through the whole thing. I'm proud of how far we've come. It's a nice bonding experience we've had this morning, and thanks for sharing it with me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.